Hello, this is brief introduction to Kotlin. This is part 10. We continue to talk about class members. In previous video we said that inside of classes there can be functions, there can be properties, objects, companion objects, and also initializer blocks which are adding code to the primary constructor of the class. In this video we will see an example of that secondary constructor. So inside of class can be secondary constructor which creates an overload for the primary constructor, and then there can be nested classes and then inner nested classes. So classes which are inside of inside of the class. In this case the name of class is shape. So also we can declare an object expression. There is not so much use for object expression because there is no access to members of the object expression. However, there is indirect use for that. For object expression, we will talk about it in the next videos. But if you want to have objects which we can have access, then we can use the companion object, as you remember from previous videos. So let's see an example. So we can declare a class. Let's call it outer class with the parameter x type of int, and inside of this class we can declare a secondary constructor with the keyword constructor with the x type of int and the y type of int as well, and then it extends the this which refers to the primary constructor with parameter x, and then body of the secondary constructor. Let's say we can print secondary constructor, so we know when it's initialized. And then let's have initializer block. We can also copy paste that print, but we can change the text primary constructor. And then because init is stands for that initializer block for the primary constructor. And then nested classes. So nested class is just inside of class another class, so we call it class nested. And then we can actually also print, we can have a function, let's call it output, and we can call these nested. Okay, then we know that which class is initialized. And then inner, we can basically copy paste this because then it's very similar but different names. For we can call it inner, and here we can also type inner, so we know. And that's that. We can now test and see how we can access members of the class outer. Okay, first of all, initialization. So we are initializing the outer class, so we need an object of that class, an instance of that class, simply by using a primary constructor. And that's that. We can run And as you see, primary constructor, it printed. It came from the that initializer block, which is primary constructor. So when we initialize, it's automatically executed. That's why we see that text here, primary constructor. Let's add one number here, then automatically in this case will be, because we are using this overload of the primary constructor, so we will have that executed secondary constructor as well. So comes that first primary constructor and then secondary constructor. And actually we can add more initializer blocks, like here for example. Let's put number 2 here, number 1, and then run again, and you will see that first executed all these initializer blocks and then secondary constructor, because secondary constructor is always executed after the initializer blocks. Now how to access nested class, for example. Okay, nested class can be accessed simply statically. Is amazing because it's easy. So we use the root name of the class and then simply nested, and then we have function output. Out works also, but output. So let's run it. Yeah, as you see here, we have the printed the nested comes from this place. So we access the class nested statically. So statically we can access nested class and class member. So we access the function output. Okay, we can go here. This is for inner class. How to access inner class? We have function output here. We create a function which simply prints the word inner, and in this case if we use just outer and then inner, then we don't have access to this function, so it's not in this way. But we can use the instance of the class outer, and then we can have that class inner. So we can use in case of inner class, then we use the object, the instance, okay, the instance of class. So here we use statically or we can call it directly, just nested class. Directly access nested class, but in this case we have to use objects. We have to use the instance. So and also, as I said, that inside of nested classes we cannot access members of the outer class. So for example, we would like to assign the x to the a, which is also type of int, but we don't have, it shows error. It complains that the compiler complains that x is not available, so we can put some other number. However, if we want to do the same inside of inner nested class, as you see, we can access the parameter of the primary constructor. So there is difference between inner nested class and just nested class. So thank you for watching in this video. We will continue to talk about classes. This is a very interesting subject. And then we will talk also about object expression, and also about how to inheritance and hierarchy in classes. So see you in the next video.